It was at this moment that he knew.
He bucked up. Welcome. You're listening to Bucked Up with Sam Buck.
Fucked up. Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. Now you have fucked up.
What's going on? Hello. I can see you.
Oh, man.
Thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. You're out in LA right now?
Allegedly.
Allegedly? Yeah, I don't want to don't give out your location.
Could be anywhere in the world right now.
Yeah, of course. But no, I really do appreciate it. I've been listening to your music for a long time, and I've been listening to it all day in preparation for this.
Oh,
so
thanks, man. That means a lot. I appreciate you, you know?
Yeah, no, of course, dude. I don't know what. I guess we'll start now. Welcome to Bucked Up. This is Adam Snow, great producer out of DC. I've been a fan for a long time. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
I love your new song. Well, you've had a couple new ones, but the one with No Time is like that's been daily rotation all the time. That's such a good song.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. And what I love kind of is you have songs with some pretty big artists, but I love that you put on, like you have other artists on, and it opens up to completely new worlds. And that song is like great, and it really, opened me up to Youngxdre as a rapper too.
Oh, this kid's amazing.
Yeah. Where is he out of DC?
He's originally from Connecticut, but currently he's San Diego, like La Jolla based.
Oh, how'd you guys meet up?
A friend of mine, a friend of a friend, knew him and sent me one of his songs. And then we just like hit it off. We just started talking a bunch, and I don't know, he likes like anime and stuff, and like
Yeah.
I like it. I don't know, like we became friends, and I was like, yo, you're the future. We gotta do an album, and then it somehow became 2 albums, and then I don't know, it might be 3 now, so I don't know.
Well, you guys have that chemistry. I can tell, like, yeah. I don't know, you can tell when producers and rappers are friends. I don't know if that makes sense, but like it's a different energy to the music. Yeah. How old are you?
I can't say, I'll say like a cheap piece, say like 300.
No, you're not. I can't. This isn't like. I can ask you. You're not some girl that I'm on a date with. I'm interviewing you. I can ask you because you've been in the game a long time, and that's. Yeah. I was just. But you still have like.
How old do you think I am?
I would say mid-20s.
Okay. I'm old. I'm an old man.
Are you?
Yeah.
You keep with the times though. That's what I'm surprised about. I thought you were like. How old were you when you started like getting traction? Because you were what, like 2014, 2015?
Well, yeah, something like that. Yeah.
You didn't start off in rap though, right?
I started off in rap, then I switched for like 3 years, and I did like the chill vibes like thing.
Yeah. What's the lo-fi? What's that?
Yeah, exactly. And then the rap just like pulled me back in, and now I'm here.
Which who pulled you back in?
I want to say probably Gucci Mane. I started doing a bunch of like chill stuff, and then I was doing a bunch of like remixes, and then I was like, instead of doing a remix, why don't I just get Gucci Mane on this song? Like that could be cool,
Yeah.
And then I just, in for a penny, in for a pound, you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
I did the one, and then I was like, oh, I could do a whole album of these, So.
How do you reach out to Gucci Mane? That doesn't sound like you got him on a track. That's the thing, is like I see some of your shit and I'm like, damn, like you're in it. You're in the you got it. You have some great connections.
That's what they tell me.
But you also work well with them. It's not like you don't hold your own. It's not like you don't have your own place with the in music.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
No, of course, dude. I'm really happy to talk to you. It's cool that's the whole thing of this podcast. I like talking to people that I actually like listen to and I'm real fans of.
I've got a question for you now. The shoes
yeah,
on
of course. Yeah, of course.
How did you find my music?
So I honestly, like Freddie Gibbs is one of my favorite rappers. I love Freddie Gibbs. So I heard you have two tracks with him,
Yep.
and 9 to 5 really that's the song that honestly I was like, oh, this is amazing, and that made me go and listen to all your other stuff. And the thing about that song that I really is the intro clip from, is that Theo Vaughn's podcast?
It's Joe Rogan's podcast with David Cho.
That's what it's Joe Rogan and David Cho. Okay. I don't know why I thought I read, but I recognized it. And Joe Rogan's the reason I kind of got into what I'm doing. I got in a bad hockey accident. He helped me get out of it. So that when I heard that was it from the first one together?
Yeah, I think so. I could be wrong, but let's go with that for this purpose of the
That's crazy though that you have that you just like, why'd you pick that clip? Because
I'm a huge I mean, I guess I'm a somewhat Joe Rogan fan, but I'm a big David Cho fan. Yeah, he's like DVDSA forever, if you're into that, if you know what that means. But
I don't, but I am a fan of him. See, I'm the other way, but I'm a big fan of him from that and learning his story, and then going back and like reading about, the Google, the was it Facebook?
Yeah.
It was just, but when I heard that, that's kind of how I like to live my life too, is the message in that. So that's kind of what connected me too. I was like, oh damn, this is a really deep cut to put into a song.
Yeah, man, you gotta be that way. I'm edgy and cool, as I like to say.
Edgy and cool.
Yep.
What? So we went, but when did you start music? Like, how old were you?
Okay, technically, I mean, when I was like 2 years old, like dancing on the table, my grandma was like, "Oh, he's gonna do something with that one day,"
Yeah.
And then when I was like 7, like we got like a piano at the house, and I would just like bang on the keys and like come up with like melodies and songs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But like taking it seriously, yeah, probably about what you said, like 2015-ish.
Okay. What type of music were you listening to, like your family around you growing up?
Jeez, whatever I want. Okay, the first CD I got was, you remember like Now? You ever listen to the Now mixes?
Oh yeah.
And it was like all like the top stuff. I got like a Now that's what I call music. Like I want to say like volume 7 or something from my uncle for my birthday, and I had like Gorillas, and it had like Chingy, and it had T.I. Rubber Band Man, and I just remember T.I. Rubber Band Man being like just blowing my tiny mind at the time. Yeah. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is unbelievable. And then I just like dove headfirst into like hip hop music from there.
Was your family into rap at all?
Not really. I mean, my mom's like a scientist.
Oh, okay. Really?
Yeah. So
what type of scientist?
What
type of scientist is your mom?
Neurobiology.
Oh wow. So she's like, was she supportive of your music career?
In the beginning, no.
Mm-hmm.
But I used to do like the beat circuit around DC when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I would stay out late, and I would go to these things. And eventually, one time I was out like too late, and she was like, "I don't believe this. I'm taking you home. We gotta get out of here." And I was at this beat battle, and I didn't think I was gonna like win or be anything, but I just kept like winning. So I kept having to stay later and later. And like, I don't know if you know DC, but like there's like a curfew. So if you're under 18, like it's like illegal or whatever.
Oh, I didn't know that. No.
I'm coming to get you, So she drives all the way to downtown DC to pick me up, and she like walks into the club, and she's like, we're getting out of here. And there's all these just like super like hip hop heads that are like, oh, like your son, he's really talented. You gotta let him do his thing,
Did she? And then she kind of got it.
Yeah, and then she kind of had like a moment, and there's all these people, and they're all like, he's really good, like,
Yeah.
and she was like, whoa, like, oh, okay, I think something's happening here, and she
Yeah.
let me like stay. I didn't win, I got like second place or whatever, but
But still, you were like a younger than 18,
yeah,
placing. That's so I'm a stand-up. I do stand-up comedy. And my mom's a teacher, not a nurse, but she's a teacher, and she wanted me to like go to college,
yeah,
get it, like do that. And then my senior year, I flew out to LA by myself to perform at the Comedy Store.
oh,
Used a
cool,
fake ID to get in. Like I really want, like the same thing. It's like, what are you doing? But it's like I know that I'm following my dreams,
yeah,
chasing them. The clip from the David Cho clip. It's like you got to do it. You just got to say fuck it and do it. And then she saw me perform for the first time, do stand up, and then it was kind of like, oh, okay, I guess like it's serious. You know what I mean? It's like there's that flip that switches in their mind.
yeah,
Whether it's like if they're serious about this, then I can't hold them back.
yeah.
So you were doing that was your first like introduction, was the beat circuit.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
then-
also you mentioned stand-up comedy. I mean, we could probably go into a whole. But I'm also a fan of stand-up comedy. I mean,
Oh,
I don't
are
know.
you?
I know this is like my like thing or whatever, but I kind of want to ask all these. Who do you like? Like, who are your favorite?
Who are my favorite? I mean, I feel like it's such a shitty thing to say Joe Rogan because he's really popular now, but it's like when I was 16 in a really dark place after the hockey accident, like he wasn't that well known, and he like pulled me out of it, and his stand up really like changed my life. So I really like him. I love Dave Chappelle. I love Bill Burr. I love Tom Segura. I even like Nick Swardson. Like I like silly comics.
Underrated.
Really underrated comic. I like Brian Regan. I love like clean comics. I saw Jim Gaffigan on my 10th birthday. I love Jim Gaffigan. Like there's very few comics that I dislike.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Okay.
Who do you like? Like who are your favorites?
Obviously Dave Chappelle, because he's from my city, DC. We
Yeah,
gotta
DC.
rep the gang, of course. I like Bobby Lee.
Bobby Lee's amazing.
Yeah, because they gotta represent for the Asians. Who else do I like? Oh, I do like Theo Von a lot. Theo Von's great.
Amazing.
I love Midge Hedberg. I don't know if you know like Midge.
I do. I love Mitch Hedberg.
R.I.P. the legend.
Yes.
Who else do I like? I like a lot of the people you named. Obviously, Joe's fire. Oh, do you like Adam Devine?
Oh, I love. Yes. I he was one of the first comics I ever met.
You guys would probably have. You know his story, right?
No, I don't.
He was a kid. I think he was like 11 or 12 or something, and he got hit by a semi.
Really?
Like, kind of across the street. Yeah. So he was in a wheelchair. He had a horrible accident. He thought he would never walk again or something. He had a horrible accident, and he was in a wheelchair for like 3 years. I don't know if this is the exact thing, but he was in a wheelchair for like 3 years, like multiple surgeries. And he said that when he was in the hospital, he didn't have anything to do except like prank call people and watch like comedy specials and stuff like that. So that's like where he like developed his comedy.
That is crazy. Well, that's like I don't know how much you listen to Joe Rogan, but he talks about like there are a lot of comics who had head trauma younger at earlier age, and then they're like comics later in life, and that's what happened to me. I got bad head trauma when I was 16, and now I'm a comic, so it's funny. So someone online said that clip was Theo Von, and I was trying to do a search, so that's why I thought that was Theo Von on that song.
Well, I didn't correct them, so it's partially on me.
But with Bobby Lee, so when I went out to the store when I was young, I used a fake ID to get in, and I sat front row at every show that I wasn't performing. And Bobby Lee was performing every night that week.
Yeah.
So every night he saw me, and like the second or third night in, he was like, "Can you stop sitting in the fucking front row? Like you're freaking me out. Like I feel like I have to do new material every night." And so I'm like, I thought he was joking. So the next night I sit in the front row, and he's like, "Why the fuck are you sitting in the front row again? Like, don't do this." And then the next night I sit in the second row, and he's like, "I can still see you in the fucking second row." And it's just whenever I think it was just so funny but I love Bobby Lee.
He's great.
But sorry, I didn't mean to go off on that tangent, but we can talk about stand up all day. That's just that's
Yeah.
my and music. But so you were doing the beat circuits, and then what was your next step after that? How did you get into
Yeah, so my next step was probably just like going on Facebook and just like finding like rappers' real names and stuff. This was back when like Facebook like wasn't a huge thing, and people would still put like all their personal information just like in the about section.
Yeah.
So I just went on there and I just started finding everyone's real names and you know, sending them emails like, hey, like I love your stuff. Here's some beats, you know? And then from that, a rapper, I don't know if you know GLC, but he was on some songs with Kanye. He was on like
oh yes, I do. Okay, yeah.
he was on Spaceship with Kanye. I feel like that song.
Yeah.
He just called me up out of the blue one day and was like, hey, like your beats are really good. I got this email in my spam folder, you know, but you know, let me use some of them, you know?
Yeah.
And then next thing I know, he sends me like the link to the mixtape, and it's like Kanye West like introducing like the song, and then like my beat plays, and then he's just rapping like his whole tape and stuff.
That's crazy. So how long into you sending out these messages did he hit you back?
Enough time to where I kind of forgot about it.
Enough time that you were like, I should just give up, or like
I was
were
like,
you?
no, I was like, he's never gonna respond, whatever. But like, I was like, it's worth a shot, right?
Was that the first person that messaged you?
Shout out to him.
So that's what how long do you think that was? Because the reason I'm asking is because this isn't really a self-help podcast, but in the way that it's like you do have to just stick it out. So that's why I'm asking.
I mean, I'll pick up the self-help mantle. We could go there, you know.
It's self-help as much
Believe
as
in
Joe.
yourself, you
Yeah,
know?
exactly. As much as Joe Rogan is a self-help podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but how long do you think that you were sending those out?
Oh my gosh. Maybe 3 months.
Okay, and how old were you at this time?
I want to say 16, 17.
So were you like, damn, I really hit something at an early age? You're 16.
I mean, it was cool because I was such a fan of the music, but like I didn't make like $1 zillion off the song, you know?
No, of course, but it's not the money that's matters.
The song didn't blow up, but like for me, I was like, it's
exactly. That's what. No, exactly. In the same way that I'm like, oh, like I'm a real fan of yours, so I'm excited to talk to you. It's like, that's cool. It's like a step, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And so, what was the next one after that?
The next one after that, I guess, to be honest with you, I kind of abandoned the whole thing. I went to what?
So you just gave up after that? You were like,
I didn't give up, but I was like, I'm going to college, like, you know, and I went to school for 3-ish years, 4 years.
School for what did you go to school for? Studying
business.
I understand. But that it's the parallels. I went to the comedy store, did stand up, and then stopped. I stopped after that, went to college, and then exactly. You have to live those. So then, did you do music at all during college while you're studying business?
Yeah, like, you know, just for fun. Just like I would still, like, when I wasn't working on like papers or like group projects or whatever, I would just like, oh, like I made a beat, you know. And
just
then like, what?
Would you tell your friends about it, or is it more just for yourself?
I tell my friends about it. Yeah, sure. I told them about it.
Yeah.
But I wasn't like, I didn't like try to like show off really, you know. I was just like, oh, check this out. It's cool.
Yeah.
But I think like my friends, they like wanted to show off because they were like, oh, this is really cool. And I was just like, oh, all right, cool. All right.
Yeah. And then you're like, oh, I was just trying to, you know. So then you said 3.5 years. Did you drop out?
Yeah, I dropped out.
And did you?
Stay in school though.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not. No.
Civilization.
But I mean, did you start making music right after? Why did you drop out?
Why did I? I have a personal vendetta against college though, actually. But I don't want to get in trouble for saying that. But
You
I
didn't say where you went, so that's all right.
Oh, I'll tell you. I went to University of Denver.
Oh, okay. But you have a vendetta against them?
Sure. Yes, I do. I have a personal vendetta against them.
And
I
you
will not
don't
be returning.
you don't have to snitch on yourself. So you don't have to talk about it if you don't want. But I am
I'll tell you.
intrigued.
What do you want to know?
What's this vendetta?
Well, it's gonna get kind of dark. You want to go to the darkness with me? We want to go to.
We can go to the darkness,
Okay,
as
we'll
you
go to the
said.
dark- Um.
I'll turn the lights off.
So, okay, so basically, I think it was in between my junior year and my senior year. Like my freaking best friend in the whole wide world. I've known him since I was 8 years old. Like fucking crazy. He was basically my brother, right?
Mm-hmm.
He passed away, and I couldn't go to the funeral because I had an accounting final the same day at school.
Mm-hmm.
And I like messaged my professor. I was like, yo, like my best friend just died. Like, can I like skip this exam? Cause like, I gotta be there. Like it's a funeral. Can I go? And he's like, no, like sometimes in life, like you have to know your priorities, and like getting through school is one of them. And it's one of the most important things that you can do with your life. So you either show up for the exam or I will fail you. You know?
Yeah.
And I had already failed accounting once before because numbers are hard.
Yeah.
And so it's like the biggest regret of my life not going, all for like what? Like a fucking school? Like what's that
Yeah.
real? I'm not even really using that shit right, anymore. Like
No, and it's also that teachers like fucking suck. Like that's not the human way to deal with that. That's not like what he hates his life and he's putting that on you. Have to deal with it because I have to deal with it.
Oh yeah, I mean, in the end, I didn't even take the exam because I went I have extended time because I'm not slow, but I'm slow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was
like
I was allowed to do my test in a special room.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So I went there and I just like tried to like fucking fill out some of the answers, and I just like bawled my eyes out the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And like the proctors of the exam were like, oh, like, all right, we can't let you take this. Like we'll wring this guy's neck or something. Like we'll just chill. Like we'll take care of it. So.
Mm-hmm. And so how long? So did you drop out pretty much right after that?
No, I actually just stuck it out, and then I didn't go to school for myself. I went because my mama, my grandma.
Yeah, of course. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool, like,
You're trying to make them proud. You're trying to make them happy. Yeah.
And I was like, okay,
Yeah.
So I stuck it out for like as long as I could, and then eventually I got to the point where I was just like, yeah, fuck this shit, I'm out of here.
And that's a reasonable vendetta against the school because they're not there to help you, and you're not using them. They're not helping you, and there's no reason for you to help them. And then how long?
$5,000 when you take the course again, anyways, when you fail. So.
So what did you do after you dropped out?
I mean, it's not that cool. I stayed at my mom's house for a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's an origin story. That sometimes you gotta the story counts. So you stayed.
Basically, I was like, okay, I don't know what to do. Like,
are you making music there at your mom's house?
Yeah, so I stayed at my mom's house, and I basically I mean, it's not cool, or maybe it is cool. I don't know. You tell me.
It is cool. I'm enjoying this story.
Yeah, I just went back to my mom's house, and I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'll just stay here and figure it out, And that's basically what I did. I stayed there and started cranking out like a lot of the like cloud wave chill beats,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
How soon after you moving in did you start doing that, like really cranking them out?
Day one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's that feeling. Literally the day I graduated, it was not a good day. It was not a happy day. That's a whole other story, but it was not a happy day. And the next day I was like, I don't have, like, this is the first time in my life I don't have structure, so I need to just focus on what my passion is.
Yeah.
So day one, you start doing it. And were you a lo-fi fan? Why that? Why that style?
Yeah, I really liked who did I like? Clams Casino.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I liked a lot of Clams, and who else did I like? I like Little B a lot.
Yes. Yeah. I love. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did a song with him actually.
Did you?
Yeah, I didn't get credit. It's uncredited, but
What song?
It's on his 99 song, like his 99 song mixtape.
He has a lot of very long mixtapes, and I love listening to them sometimes. They're very silly.
It's called 05 Fuck 'em, I think.
05 Fuck 'em? All right, I'm going to have to check that out. Were you just DMing him? How'd you get a song?
I was a big Little B fan, and he like put out his email, and I was just like, okay, I'll send some stuff. And then he liked some of them, and we've just been talking back and forth.
Yeah.
He didn't even tell me that I was on it, and then I was just listening to it, and then I was like, oh, that's my song. Cool.
That is so was he the first one post college that you were like, oh, that's my song on a project I'm listening to?
From hip hop, yeah.
What else were you doing other than hip hop?
Just like the chill beats.
Oh, the chill stuff. Yeah. Well, what artists in that was your stuff used with? What were you doing? What artists were you working with?
I did a lot of remixes. Some of them still owe me money, so I don't want to talk about that right now.
Sore spot.
Yeah. Who else? I did a bunch of just like really weird, like sampley Little B stuff, basically.
Mm-hmm. So then, when did you switch over into? When did you switch over into like working with rappers more seriously, like taking that more seriously?
Okay, so I'll just like fill it in a little bit. So basically, I did a bunch of the chill stuff, and I did the Little B stuff, and the Little B, obviously Little B gets on like Rolling Stone and everything.
Yeah.
And then some of the beats from the chill projects got like covered by like Vice and like shit like that. Can we curse on here? I don't know.
Yeah, you can. It's called Bucked Up. Yeah, you can curse on here.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm wearing a West Side Gun Chris Benoit t-shirt. You can curse on here.
Okay, cool. So yeah, some of that stuff got like some like hype or whatever, and it got like, I don't know, like 1 million plays on YouTube or whatever. And from that, a couple of producers in LA like hit me up, and they're like, oh, we need some beats or whatever. And I was just like, oh, like I always wanted to live in LA, I guess, and like come out and do music. And I guess I got to a point where I was just like, oh, I'm gonna do it. And then I just left. And
were you able to? So you were able to pay for your life with music at this point?
Not really.
Yeah. Okay.
But I wanted to.
Yeah. So you're in LA now. You were out there before, or have you moved back?
Oh my gosh. So I never really live. I still don't even really live in LA.
Yeah.
Like I kind of would just come out and I would shoot like some videos and I'd do some songs, and then I'd go back home, and then I got really into like the Chicago scene and like the rappers and stuff there.
Who are you listening to?
Oh, fucking G Herbo.
Yeah. Weird thing about G Herbo. I don't mean to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
When I think about how the first time I heard him, it was because of Nicki Minaj.
Really? Because she did like a
Chirac was she did a remix to when he went by Lil Herb. And that was like one of the first times I might have known him from like, because I was into Dirk pretty early on, like in his like Signed to the Streets days. But like I don't know, I just always thought that was a weird artist to put him, like that was the first time I heard him.
Yeah.
So you really are into the Chicago scene.
Yep.
And then do you have like a scene you like now?
Yeah, my scene.
Your scene.
I like my stuff the most now, like, you know.
Yeah.
Not to be like egotistical or whatever, but like I just feel like we're the best. Like people that I work with and like the projects I'm working on, it's just like the best.
But you work with people all over. Do you like that it's like it's not a city scene?
What do you mean?
Because you're from DC, you said these artists are from all over. It's not like, like Memphis has like a scene, or if you even Buffalo, with Griselda and the rise of what they're doing, like Buffalo has a scene. It's like that's not really what it is. Your scene is kind of a network of people all over.
Sure.
How do you, so you who is it? You work with Josh Alias, who is also an amazing artist.
Yeah.
Who else is in your scene?
Teddy Andreas.
Fantastic.
That's the homie. I've known him for before like any of his tapes really, like his big tapes really dropped.
How did you meet him? How did you meet him?
So there was a rapper by the name of Tayyib Ali. I don't know if you know him.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
I did some beats for him too, like back in the day.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
You've been
yeah.
in this game a long time. You're very blasé about it. I can tell because you're like, I've been doing this. Like,
Yeah, I'm not really a clout-based person, but
no, of course. That's no one wants to be that.
maybe I forgot some of the stuff.
No, but you said, how'd you meet him? Teddy.
Okay, so I produced for Tayyib Ali, and he is a friend of mine, and he posted one of Teddy's songs way before anyone even knew about him, really. Because he was running around like New York and stuff with like Biggie's son.
He was running a Twitter like hip hop facts page when Twitter just was starting, right? Like hip hop pictures or something on Twitter, and that's how I found out him in like 2012.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh man. But yeah, so I just hit him up, and we kind of built a friendship, and I've just been working with him for a really long time.
How do you know that you've connected with? How do you know when like an artist is one that you want to work with?
Well, I gotta like their music, of course.
But do you work with people that you have like a personal, like you want to have like a personal friendship with them for you to work with them?
Well, I'll always start with the music first.
Mhm.
Like friendship and the relationships are really important to me, but I'm a fucking artist.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Do you have friends trying to be like get on musically because you are an artist?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody wants to quote unquote get on,
Yeah.
But I do get kind of mad when people, because I'm just like, I bled for this shit, Like,
I've given my years of my life to this.
yeah, exactly. Like I've been through the ringer in a lot of ways, and I feel like you kind of have to make great art. And so I do kind of get a little mad when people are just like, oh, like this looks so cool, I could do that,
Yeah.
And I'm like, gotta earn your stripes,
Do you still have the same passion for music as you did, like in the game and dealing with the business side and all that?
I'll put it like this. Some days I absolutely hate it. So I feel like it's the worst thing in the world. And other days I'm like, this is awesome. I just want to play these songs and have people love them and enjoy them.
So you said you're a fan of your music, which is awesome. I feel like you have to, it's weird when people don't like their own stuff.
I basically let that guide me for everything I do. Like you asked me what it takes for me to work with somebody. It's really, if I'm a fan of their music, I'll reach out. I don't care if they're got 2 followers or a billion. And I think a big part of the reason of why I started making music was because I felt like the stuff that was out wasn't satisfying me as a fan. And someone told me like, be the change you want to see in the world, which is like kind of cliche, but also like mad, like super true.
Yeah.
So I was just like, okay, like if people aren't making the songs that I want to hear, I'll just start making them.
What was the first song that you were a fan of?
Probably 9 to 5. The one that, as far as stuff that's out, probably 9 to 5. Yeah.
How did that song come together?
How did it come together? I made the beat,
Mm-hmm.
and Freddie dropped his like R&B album. I don't know if you remember that one.
Was that the one with yeah, he had was that the one that had the song with O3 Greedo on it? It was like
It's
a pink
right in that time
it
period.
was like a pink cover, he's in like a suit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it was right around then, and that had come out, and like Pitchfork and everybody were like writing about it. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. Like I've always loved Freddie, and I was everyone was just talking about him, and I was like, you know what? I should do a song with him. He's pretty dope, you know.
Yeah.
And I had the beat, and I just DM'd or I DM'd and just like spammed his manager's email, and we made it happen.
Do you and you also have Teddy on that song,
Mm-hmm.
and he has a killer verse,
Killed it. Insane.
and that's it's awesome that he was able to not hold his own because he's been in the game for a very long time too. But like that track is a great track fully through. There's not it's not like there's waivers or anything.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason for that. First off, Teddy took a little bit of time to finish his verse. I distinctly remember texting him like, "Yo, what's up with the verse? You gonna send it?" And he's like, "Ah, man, like it's got Freddie Gibbs on it. I gotta go crazy, you know."
How long did it take him? How long did it take him?
I don't even. I mean, at least like 2 months, I want to say,
Mhm.
maybe a little bit longer.
Well, how did you know that was the beat? Like, how did you know that was the beat that you were gonna be a fan of?
Oh, I just love fucking Freddie's, the Madlib projects, man.
Mm-hmm.
That to me is peak.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. He's kind of like blowing up. He's having like his second wind of like blow up Freddie right now.
Mhm.
But for me, the Madlib projects are just the epitome of Freddie Gibbs.
If you go back to any episode, so I'm in New York right now, staying with my my lovely producers, Ani and Irish's place, but I'm from Massachusetts.
Oh,
and
cool.
on any other episode, I have Pinata right behind me on the wall.
Oh, nice.
It's that, and I think Pinata and how am I blanking right now?
Bandana?
Bandana, yeah. I even went on the Bandana tour. I'm sorry. This is called Bucked Up for a reason.
Oh,
But they were perfect. They were perfect. They were even better than the Alchemist album, and I love Alchemist. Like they were even better than Alfredo.
Yeah.
But how you knew that song, just like you made it. How did you make it and you were like, this is it?
Pretty much. Okay. Originally, I actually made that beat for Raekwon because I had just connected with him, and he was like, "Yeah, you can send me beats or whatever." And so I was like, "I'm a huge Wu-Tang fan," and so I just like made this like whole pack, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna send him all these beats," and then he never rapped on any of them, so I was kind of bummed. And then like when Freddie had dropped that R&B album, and I was like, I should do a song with him. I just knew like, all right, if I was gonna do a song with him, it's got to be that beat. Like I was holding onto that beat for a minute, and I was just like, it's got to go somewhere. It's too good not to go somewhere, you know?
And he killed that song. You said you spammed his manager. How long? Like how long?
Yeah, but yeah.
How long of a time was that you made the beat versus you got him to respond versus you got him the verse that he did?
So I had the beat for like 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
But to his credit, Lambo, his manager, is one of the most solid, good manager humans in the business. He, like, the second I was like, "Yo, can we work something out? Can we get him on this?" He hit me back and he was like, "All right, like let's do it," you know. So
yeah,
it was very. It took a while for me to get him in the video. The guy, and there was like fires in where he lived. But getting him on the song was very smooth, and they're the best. So, you know, shouts out to those guys because they're great. I love those guys.
Well, then why'd you pick you said you were a fan of David Cho. When did you pick that intro for the song?
Okay, so first I got him on the song. He recorded a whole long, like the whole thing was filled like 3-4 minutes of just like bars and hooks and ideas, you know.
Yeah.
And then I listened to the whole thing, and there was the one section. That was actually just a verse. He said it like one time where he was like 9 to 5, you know, pay the rent. And I was like, oh, that's got to be the hook right there. So then I like chopped it all up, and then I took the verse and turned that into the hook. And then it was like, because I like cut it up, it was like missing other stuff. And I was listening to a bunch of David Cho, Joe Rogan stuff, and I was just like, this is perfect, you know? And
Yeah.
dropped that in, and then I was like, wait, the end, like, it's missing something now. So I called Teddy, and I was like, yo, I need you on this, man. Like,
So you picked the David Cho thing before even Teddy's verse.
correct.
Have you ever tried to send that to David?
Oh yeah, I met. He had to give me. I mean, he gave me the clearance. On it.
You have to get clearance for that. I don't know about the music industry that much. I learned okay, so you had to reach out to him.
Well, yeah, pretty much. I mean, he lives in the LA area. And he had a speaking art speaking engagement.
Yeah.
And I went to go see him speak, and I met him after his talk, and I was just like, yo man, I made this song. Like, can I use it? Can I use this snippet? And he basically was just like, he's just like, yeah man, sure.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Asking me, like,
How did you find out about? Are you a fan of art too? Like, how did you find out about David Cho?
How did I find out about David Cho? How did I find out about David Cho? Bobby Lee.
Oh, so you're a longtime fan of Bobby Lee.
Oh my gosh, dude. Mad TV. When I was a kid, like, Mad TV forever, man. Like, I was just like, because, you know, when you're a kid growing up, like, there was like no Asians on television. So to see like Bobby Lee like make it on Fox, like a huge network, like in comedy too, like, we just like, that's our guy, you know?
Yeah.
We were like, everyone just loved, like, all the Asians love Bobby Lee, man.
And was he one of the first like comedians that you were a fan of?
Probably at that time, like early on, probably the only one before Dave Chappelle when I got older. But like as a kid, like Bobby was like the guy.
Have you ever seen him perform, met him, talked to him?
No, I wish. You want to hook it up?
We could, I don't know, but you seem good at DMing. That's the whole thing is I feel like you have confidence in your stuff. So you're like, oh, if I reach out to someone, I have something to get. Like, it's not like I'm like, oh, please check me out. Like, I don't have, you're like, oh, I have something to give. Even if you spam whatever, it's like, if you have confidence in yourself, then like people are going to have confidence in your stuff too.
Exactly. Yeah.
But other than that interaction with Bobby Lee, he is not one of the comedians I know that well.
Okay.
So I do want to ask you so how did you then get into stand up from that?
Man, I don't know. I guess I just always liked stand up casually. I'm not like a huge stand up fan, but I'm like a casual fan.
What are your like passions outside of music?
I like anime a lot. And I just got a PS5.
Oh my God, I'm jealous now. I've been trying. I'm not paying any more than the price.
Yeah.
So did you pay extra for it?
Yeah, I fucking paid extra.
Is it worth it?
I don't know. I just opened it yesterday, so I'll let you know.
What are you playing on it? This will turn to a video game podcast real quick. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I got Resident Evil 2 and 3. I downloaded Dark Souls. I literally just unboxed it like last night, so the jury's still out on like all the fancy nut stuff, but I'm still pretty excited about it.
Why are you even doing a podcast with me? You should be hanging up this Zoom call and going and playing the PS5 right now.
Because, man, gotta you know, I love my, like, I think a lot of artists like to say like, "Oh, I love the fans," But when there's 100 kids waiting in line to see your concert, they're not gonna. As soon as the concert's over, they're gonna fucking leave, and they're not gonna stay, and they're not gonna talk to you, and they're gonna make a fucking VIP. They're gonna make you pay $80 to fucking even get a meet and greet.
Mhm.
So it's like, do you really love your fans? I don't know. And I think I really wanted to like make it a point to like I respond to every DM like as long as someone's cool, like I'll
Yeah.
probably do it if you want to.
Yeah, totally. So you said like the live, I know it's pandemic time, but do you do live shows still or before all that? Were you still
Yeah, I
performing
did.
live?
I used to, yeah. Not right now though.
Yeah, of course. Are things are you're in LA, so things are shut down. So it's not like
Right. Yeah. Sort of. I mean, it's like halfway.
yeah. Do you so you came up like with like performing live, you doing those the beat circuit like I feel like that's something that's like I go to so many like before COVID I would go to a concert a week. I loved last concert I went to before COVID was Young Dolph and Key Glock. That was a great concert. What was the last one you went to?
Oh my gosh. Lollapalooza.
Oh, who was headlining?
I was in Chicago. It was like Post Malone, Gucci Mane, Little Uzi Vert. Yeah.
I've been getting back into really old Gucci. I heard Iced Out Bart the other day, and I was like, all right, I'm just going to be listening to old Gucci again.
Gucci's a legend, man.
He really...
People miss the old Gucci, but, he's got to get them endorsement deals now, so.
Yeah.
He's cleaned up his act.
I saw Gucci on his first show back after getting out of prison.
Yeah.
And he had Evander Grimm opening up for him.
Mm.
And Evander didn't like the crowd.
Yeah.
Didn't like how the show was going, so he left halfway through his set.
Yeah.
And Gucci made him go back and apologize to the audience.
Listen,
that was the most I loved Gucci, but that was the most boss ass thing I've ever seen anyone do.
He's got his principles, man.
Yeah, go back and apologize to the audience.
Yep.
That was great. But no, old Gucci is the best.
Well, you know why, right? Because Gucci was, people forget about this. Gucci was underground for a long time.
Yeah.
So when he first came out, he got shit on, man. The industry, like all the fancy pop rappers or whatever, like he went through it, for a long time.
That happens to a lot of the rappers who are in it for a long time and just stick through it, but stick through it strong. Like, I feel like Dirk is dealing with that now. Like, Dirk is finally kind of breaking through into like, all right, he's been proven in his longevity in the game. But like, I remember when like Signed to the Streets 2 came out, people were would shit on him so bad. And then like all throughout, but he was always good. Like he just, he is now people are finally recognizing.
Yep.
Who are you listening to other than the people that you work with? Like who do you like now that's coming up? It doesn't even have to be big artists.
Coming up, man, I'm still listening to Juice's album that he put out. Very solid. I get a lot of good recommendations from Dre. He's like pretty like hip. I like Young Blue.
Yeah.
Who else do I like?
Do you not listen to a ton of music because you're do you not go out of your way anymore to like try to search for the new artist type thing?
Well, when I said that, like my people like literally like Youngxdre is like my favorite artist right now. Like he's the best. Like when you hear the stuff that we have, when it comes out, like I think people in the world would understand like why I say that. I don't know. I still like XXXTentacion.
Yeah.
I like his stuff.
When was the first time you heard him? He's one of those artists that you remember, like, at least for me, I remember the first time I heard him.
Yeah, a friend sent me a SoundCloud link to I don't want to do this anymore, or whatever that song is.
Yeah.
And I was just blown away. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is insane. Like
Yeah.
he's amazing. Like you know.
What are you working on right now? You said you've mentioned maybe 5 albums that you might be
Yeah,
working on right now.
source of contention amongst people.
But what are you like? What's the next like most solid project you have coming
Okay.
up?
I guarantee you have my word that these 2 projects are coming out. Number one is I have From Dusk Till Dawn, or not, sorry, Dusk Till Dawn, Part 1 comes out on March 5th
With who?
with Youngxdre.
Oh, real? Okay. Is that his first project?
That is his first project, as actually also my first project, because my actual album got, transformed into something else. So.
What happened with that? Because that is surprising. You have a long history, but you don't have any projects out fully.
I know, it's pretty crazy, right? I don't even have an album out yet.
Is that purposeful, or what happened with this album that you were working
Oh
on?
man, labels happened. People going to jail happened. So I guess like I got a song with YNW Melly, and Electronica that I'm really proud of, and just I don't know, I've just been trying to get the clearances for a long time, and it's just like you got to do it, man. And if you don't,
Is that hard being like, this is my art, like this is my passion, and it's like the
oh,
business gets in the way of it?
freaking heartbreaking, man. I mean, I had a song that I had a song that I put my heart and soul into, and I loved it. And the artists, some of them did like the song, like did it for free because they love the music. And then we go for the clearance. We're like, hey, like, can you guys clear this so we can put it out? And they're basically just like, oh, like, fuck you.
And there's no way to work around it because you're like
just labels, man.
Yeah. Is that something? When did you learn about? Is that when you learned about it, or did you know about this early on in your music career?
Oh, I didn't. I only learned about it when I started working with like big rappers and putting stuff out. You know, for that the supposed album, which now is in limbo.
How long has it been in limbo?
I don't know. I want to say 6 months. It was supposed to come out this year, but then it didn't.
So what's it morphing into? Like, what are your next steps with it?
So I have a song currently with Electronica. And I basically just ended up putting some of the songs from that album onto the project with Dre.
Oh wow. So
yeah, go ahead.
No, what were you saying? Sorry.
Oh, this project with Dre is basically like my debut album and his debut album like together, you know?
How long have you been working on it?
I want to say the past 2-3 months.
And do you guys work together with it, or are you guys in different places sending it back and forth?
Sending it back and forth, man.
That's pretty good. Do you feel like there's a difference in working with it, like in studio with someone versus like sending it back and forth?
Yeah, sometimes it's better actually, and sometimes it's worse.
How would it be? I want to hear about why would it be worse?
It's harder to convince someone to do something if they can just if you're really far away from them, it's harder to be like, yo, come on, man, you gotta do this. You know?
Yeah.
Although I don't know, the people that I work with have kind of just trusted me, like the smaller artists, because they don't have like the big heads.
Yeah. You've been in the game. What's kept your head small? Like, what kept you, humble about it?
I'm just a fan, bro. Like, I'm just a fan of music. And when I talk to you or I talk to anyone that's a fan of my music, I don't think like I'm the artist and you are below me.
Yeah, no, totally, yeah. does the business, like the label fucking over, putting your music in limbo, does that waver your love for music and the fan of music?
Oh, 1,000%. I mean, when I said I wanted to quit, and ride off into the sunset or whatever, I think that is a big part of what soured things for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying to be positive, shouts a little B. Because of someone like Dre, who's not signed and is so insanely talented, it enabled me to be like, oh, well, I don't even need that album anymore because I can just do 24 songs with this kid and take over the world, and I don't even need to talk. I don't need to talk to any of those labels, get any permission from any of them.
Yeah.
And then in a couple cases, we have big artists, but our relationships are good and they're friends or they're on the same like distributor. So it's,
yeah.
we're all,
Does that make you see that you say the positive, like that does give hope. And it also shows that you said earlier that you're not like a clout chaser. And
Yeah.
that proves that you are a man of your word. You know, that you're like, no, like I love the music. I'm going to make the music I want to make. Fuck you, no matter what you say. Like that's awesome. And that shows that you are like it might waver you. You might want to quit, and tomorrow you could wake up with a different feeling. But that is awesome to hear, that even dealing with all the bullshit, you can come out with kind of a stronger mentality about it.
Yeah, I mean, I did it for, I don't know, the people, because as I said, like, I just felt like the kids deserve greatness, okay? And we only get so many great albums every, like, cycle. And I wanted the kids to have the same experiences that I had, like, the first time I heard College Dropout, or the first time, I don't know if you like Drake, but the first time I heard Take Care was just to me. And I think that the fans and the kids out there deserve that.
Do you think that was changed by the industry? That there can't be these like...
Man, yeah, probably. It definitely makes it harder.
Yeah.
It's definitely a meat grinder of a business.
Yeah. Well, that's why I don't even know if you listen to them, but that's why I love Griselda and I love West Side Gun and I love everyone out of Buffalo and that whole scene, because they changed it in a way.
Change the rules.
And I love that, and they're killing it. That's why I almost exclusively wear their clothing, just because it's like a respect. And I love them. It's like I really do, and I feel that the way you're talking about it, I'm like, oh, there's other people like you feel it, like you feel it with your music, and you're putting that out there. Why is Youngxdre the artist you picked? That you're like, this is how did you know this is the guy?
He's just the best, man. I don't even like. Obviously, there is the relationship. He's cool. He's easy to work with. We both like anime. I don't know. We talked the first couple of times we talked for like an hour about like waffles and stuff, like just like stupid shit like that,
Yeah.
You
remember the first verse you heard from him? Like, was there a song you heard? Like,
yeah, there's a song, but it's not out yet. So it's called Cold Hearted. It's really good, and it'll come out.
Okay. Will it be on this album, or is that on another project?
It's gonna be on the second album. It started out as something that was just his song, and then it was brought to me, and we totally like redid it, and because he did it over like another, like a YouTube beat or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, like I know what to do with this. Like, let's flip the drums or whatever. Let's turn it,
Yeah.
So yeah, I just knew that he was the guy. I don't really know what else to like.
Well, what other projects are you focused fully on that, or do you have other projects that you're working on?
I'm focused. Yeah, like a laser.
The laser. How off do you work on it every day? Like, do you work on music every day?
Oh yeah, that's why it's called Dusk Till Dawn, because like straight up, like I go to bed working on it. Dre will send me an idea. I'll wake up, he'll send me a new idea, and then like I'll work on it, and then I'll go to bed, and then like I'll stay up till 3 at night or 3 a.m. like mixing it, and then I'll wake up the next morning and he'll send me something else.
Yeah.
And we've just been going at it for like nonstop, basically.
Are you excited? How are you feeling about your first album being put out?
A little bit nervous, but mostly excited.
What are you feeling nervous about?
Well, there's always, I like to talk a big game of like, it's so good, like I'm awesome, you know? But every artist, there's like the 1% of like, what if people hate it? You know?
Yeah. I totally feel that. I told my producer I'm no longer going to say 100% because I say it a lot. I always say 100%.
Say it, and put on a t-shirt and I'll buy one.
Oh, a 100% t-shirt. She's been trying to talk me into doing that too. But it's true. But the only reason I don't want other people to hate it is I don't want them to see what I hate in it. I don't know if you feel that way, but that's how I feel about it. Like when I listen back to I guess it's different with a podcast because it's like I don't edit it. It's just like there. You can't like work on it and then put it out. But I see the imperfections and I'm like, oh, I don't want other people to hate the imperfections like I do.
Right.
What do you like? Is that how you feel about it? Or is it like these people aren't going to understand what I've been trying to do?
I guess even if you're the greatest in the world, there's always a chance. You know, you never really know if something's gonna do well or if it's gonna be well received until you put it out.
Mm-hmm.
Or you know,
have you had to deal with haters?
Not really.
That's good. I feel like that's good though. I didn't know if like how you like if you don't answer because you say you read a lot of messages. I didn't know if like it like I'm not gonna lie, I don't like when people talk shit about this podcast. Like I see people talk shit and I don't love it, but I don't let it get to me. I try to have other vices, like not vices, but like I'll go meditate or I'll go do yoga or I'll go for a run because I feel like that will help me not go animal on whoever's talking shit.
I also kind of love it. I'm definitely a child of the internet. And I think there's this thing of like people are trolls. Like they must be in their basements and they're so sad and they hate the world. But a lot of them are just kids that like to goof off and be assholes on the internet. Like,
yeah. I remember. Yeah, exactly. It is a lot of that. That's
they don't hate you. They're just being assholes on the internet, man. Like
that's not a perspective that's talked about, but it's 100% true.
Yeah.
It's like it's not sad people in their basements that like live with their mom. It's like it's just kids who are like, I want to fuck around. I don't give a fuck. Like people do dumb shit when they're young.
Exactly. Oh, totally.
What's your project after Dusk Till Dawn?
Well, okay, so there's two parts of that.
You did say part one.
Right. So part one's coming in March.
Mm-hmm.
And then part two, I have yet to decide when it will be arriving.
Okay. Anything else?
There may be a part three. I tried to keep it to 2 parts, but we just kept making songs. So maybe there'll be a part 3.
Are you ever going to put a project out with Teddy?
Dude, I've been trying to get that kid to do a project with me since he first started. I was like, let's do it.
If you're listening, Teddy, do the fucking project. I'm bullying you on my podcast, on my self-help podcast. No, but that would be dope because you guys do have a great chemistry musically.
Yeah, and yeah, he's the best, man. Like he's just the best, man.
Do you have like some dream You've worked with some dream like you did get a verse from Raekwon on that. That was one of the first songs I ever heard from you too, was the one with G Herbo and Raekwon. Like you do have some great dream collabs, but do you have other dream collabs that you would want?
All right. I'm just for the child version of myself. I mean, I still got to put Kanye on the list.
Mm-hmm.
I just have to do it.
You don't have to. I understand.
He's on there.
Don't take him off.
I don't know if he even will do it. You know.
Yeah. He introduced one of your songs before, so.
True. And then Drake.
Mm-hmm.
Others. You know. I hope
Put him on the same song. Fuck it.
I don't want no smoke with that. But
yeah, no, I'm just kidding. Don't do that.
I would love to do something with Drake. Yeah, and then I guess I gotta I'll put the Weeknd on there.
Mm-hmm.
I like him a lot.
Do you like his new stuff?
No comment.
I understand. There's no snitching on this podcast. And I put that under the
trilogy album / mixtape.
So fucking. I still listen to that all the time. The time. That's so good.
Good, yeah.
Even Kissland. I love Kissland.
Oh my gosh, so great.
Yeah. But I understand.
He's awesome.
So when's the album dropping?
March 5th.
March 5th. I'm really excited for it. And you said Jay Electronica was on a track?
It's got Jay for big names. The only features we have.
You don't give me all names. I like here. Don't say don't
okay, well,
yourself short.
We've got Jay Electronica. He's on the intro.
Uh-huh.
And we've got The Game on a song.
Mm-hmm.
We've got my homie 6-0. He's really talented.
Okay. You have a song with him in, was it with Famous Dex?
Dex, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And then we've got, I have another David Cho segment at the end.
Oh, really? Is this from Joe Rogan too or no?
No, it's from something else.
Okay, what's it from?
It's a snippet from his DVD essay podcast.
Okay. And who else on it?
That's it.
And
Youngxdre, of course.
Okay, well that's awesome. And that's coming. Are any other singles dropping before then?
If I can get the clearances, if Melly gets out of jail, everybody stay out of trouble. All the rappers stay out of trouble.
So you can't release the song while he's locked up.
I mean, I could. It's just harder. I mean, it's hard.
Yeah, I didn't know. So what's the difference between songs that can be released and songs that can't?
What do you mean?
Like there's been features that he has had come out since incarceration.
Well, it probably depends on the subject matter of the song.
Okay, now I understand. Okay, thank you for clarifying for me. Yeah, no, I get it. I understand. So yeah, just stay. The self-help of this podcast is stay out of trouble.
Stay out of. People hit me up and say, "What are you up to?" I just say, "Trying to stay out of trouble."
Staying out of trouble. Do you? Okay, you're from real quick. I know. This has been like the third time I've kind of ended this podcast. But do you listen? Like, who do you like out of the DMV? Because Lil Dude has been one of my favorites that has not like blown. But I love Lil Dude a lot. Who else do you like out of the DMV?
Oh my gosh. Sinitus Tempo. I don't know if he's a producer. I don't
know him.
I'm just gonna name all the. I mean, most of the DMV guys are like, for me, are like underground guys. Like I like Kev Brown. I don't know if you know him. Odyssey is pretty good.
I love Odyssey. Yeah.
I don't know you.
I want to shout out two of them, J Royale and You'll Never Know. Two great rappers out of Baltimore. Really great. Yeah. Worked with like Conway and worked with,
Cool.
Yeah. But who else? Give them a shout out because I'll go back and listen to this and check out all these names.
I think Holiday. I don't know if you know Holiday with an X. He's from the DMV.
Yeah, I do. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's pretty fire.
Do you claim yourself to the DMV?
Yeah, man.
You got your Ravens hat on.
Yeah, man. The Washington Reds. What is that? I don't even. Come on, man.
Man, thank you so much for coming on. I really had a great time talking to you. Make sure to check out all his music. What's your social media?
My Instagram is AdamSnow301. And yeah, that's me.
Awesome. Make sure, really a big fan, and I hope everyone listens to it, and you can subscribe to Bucked Up on YouTube. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you.
For sure.